Hello there people, I am Grummick999 and I want to show you a glitch that we have dubbed Torch Storage. Now this glitch does not work in single player, it only works in multiplayer. You can start your own multiplayer server by pressing host and play and then just going into a world. Alright, we're in the world. Now this glitch involves the floating furniture glitch that you can create with teleporters. I can place a chair in the air by placing two teleporters, chain on top, and then breaking the bottom of the teleporter. Anyways, we dubbed this glitch torch storage because it all revolves around torches. Here we have some furniture. I'm gonna make it float real quick by removing the teleporters underneath. And then I'm just gonna flick this lever that is hooked up to the torch to turn it off. And the furniture will seemingly disappear. Cannot mine it, cannot stand on it, cannot interact with it at all. It's gone from existence, except if I am to update the nearby area, it appears again. Destroy the teleporters and then update the torch. I can try and update the torch again and nothing will happen. If I do click the torch off, the chair will appear back again. This has some weird use cases. For example, we can try with boulders. Let's make a little tower here. And remove. There we go. Click the bottom teleporter to remove it. And then we'll store them inside the torch. They're gone. I can't mine them. Seemingly disappeared. But now it actually kind of works like a trap. If I were to build here, suddenly all the boulders fall down. Alright, what else can we do with this? Well, we can use another teleporter glitch to make certain statues invisible. So we'll break these teleporters. I need to move this torch actually. Move it down here. Okay, so we got one floating teleporter now. We're using a chest specifically because it'll keep this teleporter float. We'll place a boulder statue underneath. We can now move chest away. Now to make the boulder statue float on its own, we're gonna need an ice rod. And we're just gonna tap the top of the teleporter. It's gonna pop off and we now got a floating statue. Statue is still usable actually. But that's not the important thing. We're gonna hook up the torch here. And we're gonna make it disappear. And if we also hook up the now invisible, unbreakable statue, we can make it emit boulders. So invisible traps. Now before I continue, I do want to say, this is a client-side bug. If I were to relog right now, let's try that. Right, I have now relogged. You can now see it's visible again. This means, for example, if I were to make it invisible now, and some other player joined the world, they would actually be able to see the now invisible thing here, whatever it would be. They could also interact with it. I can't interact with them, but they can. And they can also go click the torch and have it invisible for them. This works weirdly with beds, for example. If I am to set my spawn, I'll make it away there. My spawn is now at this bed. You can see by teleporting to it. If I make it go into torch storage, my spawn is no longer there. But if I relog, it should appear again, right? What happens then? Let's try it out. As you can see, I spawned back at the bed that was gone. This kind of gives me two spawn points in a sense. One use case I could see for this is, for example, if you always want to spawn at a particular house, but you want your cell phone to take you to original spawn, then this is a way of doing it, because you can spawn, you can log in, turn off the bed, and then use your cell phone to come back to the normal place. Alright, here we have another weird thing. Torch storage interacts weirdly with mobs. Let's try and, for example, create a wall here of boulders. Let's make this a little slope here. So we'll make it disappear. And look at that. They react really weirdly. In fact, let me take off God mode. There we go. This is what we call a force field. Mobs can, for the most part, not go through it. Sort of can, but not really. To the mobs, it still exists halfway. Eater of Souls, for example, have a really hard time going through them. Most flying mobs do. Walking mobs can mostly go through the force field. Mostly. Other use cases, for example, geysers, normally triggered by walking into them or with wire. If we are to put them into torch storage, we can now trigger them, and they're basically also like an invisible trap. And they also lose the ability to trigger by you touching them, because you're technically not touching them anymore. Fireworks? Yes, we got invisible fireworks. Oh, invisible firework launchers. Fog machines work a bit weirdly. I noticed that. I don't have a torch here. This is just connected to them. And by flicking the lever, it goes into torch storage as well. It kind of like turns itself into torch storage. It's weird. Invisible mobs bonus. That's interesting. It didn't actually go through to the others, but it's still gonna. Sometimes it doesn't transfer the like torch storage through the objects. It's a bit inconsistent in that case, but you can make invisible statues with this. Target dummies. Let's try and make this target dummy here. When I remove this here, the hitbox of the target dummy actually is not up here anymore. It's fallen down to this area. This is a known bug, not super important, but if you put it into storage, it's still here. I also cannot break the original target dummy anymore. Now we just have an invisible target dummy here that is just chilling. Anyways, that concludes the basics of torch storage. There's probably a lot more uses, and there's a few more things we've experimented with, but yeah, it's weird.